Good morning. We are here from the NACo Legislative Conference from Washington, D.C. We are going to have a great conversation this morning on Talk of the County. It's going to be informative, inspiring, and very entertaining because we got two individuals that are two of the most favorable county officials in the country. That do amazing work each day for our residents. So this morning, the highlight is on Louisiana and Ohio. So now I'm going to pass the baton to Commissioner John O'Grady.
All right, so today we have with us Police Juror, and we'll talk about that in a second, but we have Police Juror Tony Guillory, my buddy from Calcasieu Parish, Louisiana, which is down on the coast in
coast. 30 minutes from Texas, 3 hours from New Orleans.
Yeah, Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Right.
Tony and I have been friends for, I don't know, more than a decade now, I guess.
Right.
And we have served together on the Community Economic Workforce Development Committee for a long time, and just been spending a lot of time hanging out, doing all kinds of different things together here.
Right.
At NACo. We see each other here in Washington every year, and in parts all over the country at different annual conferences and large urban county caucus conferences throughout the years. And so Tony and I have become good friends, just spending time together, working on behalf of the residents of Calcasieu Parish and on behalf of the residents of Franklin County, but also just getting to know each other, getting to learn more about his part of the world and my part of the world, and getting to know more about each other, and so that's what we want to do today a little bit, is talk about Tony and Frank, and his world, but also talk about the way things happen and the differences between and the similarities between the way he does his business and his community, and the way he represents his parishioners, and the way we do things in Franklin County, and just to be able to show a little bit of the similarities and differences between what we all do is representing our constituents. So, Tony, why don't you talk a little bit not only about yourself, but about your community and about Lake Charles and Calcasieu Parish.
Well, let me start off telling you a little bit about why Louisiana we are only called police jurors. As I travel these, everybody else is called county commissioners. And in Louisiana, back in the early 1800s, the Indians kind of came out, and Louisiana is underneath that Napoleon law of a lot of things. And you was going out to police your area. We have parishes, and you all have counties. So that's one of the things why Louisiana is called police jurors. We have nothing to do with the police, but run from them. But no, that's one of the things why Louisiana is called police jurors. So I want people to know that, because as I travel, that's one of the major things. Everybody always, why are you called police juror? And I'm from Lake Charles. Lake Charles is about 200,000 people. We're right on the coast of Cameron. Is about an hour away, and usually where the storms come in at is right at Cameron. They come in on the Cameron area. Back in 2020, of course, we went through. We had two of them within a week apart. We had the third one coming, and it changed during the middle of the night. It went to Texas, so we was gonna get two of them, and I had a water freeze and a flood, all within the time that I was president of the Calcasieu Parish, and also served as president of the whole state of Louisiana. So that was some of our major challenges that we've had along the coast, and we're always going to have those challenges because we live there. So you just have to make it better for each time, hopefully better that we don't have the storms as bad.
So Tony and I had gotten to know each other, and we were friends, but when those storms came in 2020, that's when we became good friends, because Tony was dealing with the first hurricane and the aftermath of the first hurricane, and then when the second, I was you were having, they were struggling with cell service and phone service, but I was texting you at the time. It was like the middle of the night, and I was texting saying, "Are you doing okay?
Yes.
What's happening?" And you were dealing with not only dealing with all your residents and everything was going on, but you were dealing with your own house was getting hit.
My house got hit pretty bad. And I want to thank you, too, for all the time doing that. You had an 18-wheeler come down with all water, right?
We were trying to figure out what it was that we could do. Obviously, you guys aren't our residents. You're not, we couldn't send. I was in touch with Ken trying to figure out what could we do, and through our EMA department, we were able to send you down an 18-wheeler full of water.
Right.
Which bottles of water I figured out at the time from you was
very good,
pretty helpful. But we were trying to send anything we could, and we figured out that water was what we could send.
And thank you. It was a whole 18-wheeler full. We unloaded it one night. It was actually dark because we didn't have any power or anything. And as the storm came in that night, I was in one of our buildings, and I kind of, as you could feel it on the window, so I moved out of there. But the storm came in at 180 miles an hour. One of the strongest storms ever in the history. 180 miles an hour it came in. It was it made record, one of the strongest ever hit land.
Yeah, well, I mean, it came in and it was 2 storms in a row within a week, right?
Within a week.
And so, I mean, and at that time, around that time, we had, we were dealing with, it was 2020, we were dealing with a pandemic, we were dealing with all the large counties, we were dealing with, the George Floyd, and all the stuff that was going on around George Floyd, and we were dealing with, I think we had other communities that were dealing with wildfires, and there was just a lot of stuff that was going on, but I just was like, and I remember explaining to my colleagues, in Franklin County, so one of the things we can talk about is in Ohio, we have 86 of our 88 counties, we have 3 members of the Board of County Commissioners. And how many do you guys have on your board?
15.
So you have 15 members of the Board of County Commissioners in Calcasieu Parish. Counties all over the country are different. And if I've ever had a conversation with anybody that's listening, they all know that we try to explain that Ohio's just different than every other state in the country, which is very unusual. Oklahoma, I was talking to somebody last night from Oklahoma where they have 3 members of the Board of Commissioners. Ohio's just very different than every other state in the country. So you have 15 down there, and I was trying to talk to my colleagues and say, look, Tony's a good guy, he's a buddy of mine. We got to do something for these folks. He's struggling to help his residents out. What if this had happened to us? Who would we turn to? Who would we be looking, to for some help? He needs some help down there. Let's do what we can. And so we were able to turn to our EMA director and get you guys some water at the time.
Yes.
So anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about. So we have three members of our Board of Commissioners. You guys have 15. What's your district look like?
My district consists of about 15,000 people. About 15,000.
Is everybody's district about 15,000?
Everybody's about 15,000.
Gotcha.
I have some of the city, and it makes a pie. It goes out to where we have some of the outer part of the city. So everybody gets it's called. You get from the city, it goes out like that, and you get more of the outside, where you can actually spend more money on the outside versus in the inside, because we have the city government on the inside.
Oh, gotcha. And then you guys, so you've got Lake Charles and surrounding areas, and you said Calcasieu Parish is about 200,000 people?
Right, about 200.
And you're closer to the Texas border than you are to New Orleans?
30 minutes away.
Gotcha. And then, so when Tony and I see each other, Tony's been generous, and just like yesterday, he brings me some seasoning and some crab boil and some jambalaya,
some balls.
Makes some balls seasoning. My kids
You're going to have to give them
that.
some now.
My kids appreciate that. They'll just have to come to my house when I cook is what they're going to do. But my kids appreciate all that. But so I get a little taste of the bayou when I up in Columbus.
You got to watch Louisiana now. You put some weight on.
We need NACo to come back to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that was a great time. Well,
that's coming up. We're coming back to Orleans Parish in 2026?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe so. That's I think it's 2026 we're coming back.
Okay.
It's close enough that it's showing up on the website, and I hope to be there.
Okay.
I hope to be there.
Yeah,
They said no one have ever threw a party like we threw a party.
It was pretty good. It was hot and humid, but because you can't you come to New Orleans and
Right.
to come to your part of the country in the middle of the summertime, it gets a little warm and humid, hot and sticky.
So we had every parish or every county to cook something. So you had 64 different places in the dome to go try something,
I
from
remember.
alligator to whatever.
I remember.
I even had a Zydeco man.
We took our family down to New Orleans for vacation a few years ago, and my kids, my one son bought a T-shirt at every restaurant we went to. He still wears them, to this day. Turkey
Right.
and the Wolf and Cochon and all the different restaurants we went to. He bought a T-shirt. So anyway, what we talk about some of the other similarities and differences between the way we all do business, but. So we served together on the Community Economic Workforce Development Committee here at NACo. What are some of the other committees that you?
Right now, I'm serving on the public justice.
Justice and
You're
Public
right.
Yeah.
They wanted me to kind of move around, so I'm doing that one now. But I got a lot off of workforce economic development. It was my baby for a long time.
Yeah.
It was my baby for a long time.
We were both vice chairs and
Vice chairs.
subcommittee chairs
Right.
for a long time on that committee.
And I can tell you some of the things right now in our area that we're dealing with, and I don't know about you, is the farms for the I can't even think for the electricity.
For
Solar farm?
The solar. Yeah, got lost for a minute. Yes. So we're dealing with that now, and that's one of the biggest things.
so you have folks, farmers that are landowners that are fighting against it.
Some of them are, and some of them are not.
Yeah, it's a big issue back home too. We have a lot of farmers want it. They want
Right.
to put the. You go up to, like I was up in northwest Ohio this past week, and there's solar farms everywhere. And then a lot of the neighbors have up signs that are fighting against solar farms.
I think on 20,000 acres, it only will be able to generate 400 homes or something like that.
Yeah, we have a lot of wind
Takes
farms.
it takes a lot of resources to build them
Right.
in the community.
Yeah.
Versus what you get
And it's
back.
only like 2 or 3 people maintaining it once it's built.
Yeah,
Not creating a lot of
not
jobs. Do you
creating a
have,
lot of jobs.
Right.
do you have a lot of? Do you have wind farms down there as well?
No.
No, not a big. Not a big. We have a lot of wind farms, especially in western and northwest Ohio. Interesting.
And what agriculture is being lost where people give up the land to the
Rice.
soil? Rice.
Rice. We do a lot of rice in Louisiana, rice.
Interesting. And so you guys, that's a big,
That's one of the biggest things now
big
that
issue
we,
on your agenda.
right. Besides drainage. Drainage is always big for everybody. And of course, on drainage, you can't stop it when it rains. All of a sudden, you get 8 inches of rain all of a sudden because of infrastructure. There's all concrete and no green space. So you will have flooding at that time.
I'm sure we have drainage. So we're a big urban area, but we still deal with drainage issues in our community, not nearly like they do in the rural areas of Ohio, but we still have drainage issues that we have to deal with. But we're not Southwest Louisiana where
We're having everybody that's building subdivisions putting up retention ponds.
Does all that construction and residential construction with the retention ponds, does that create an issue for you guys with the all the wildlife? And every time they build a retention pond, we get 35 different families of geese that come in, and they don't fly south for the winter anymore. They all stay in Columbus all winter long.
Well, we're doing them now, so I guess we're gonna start seeing it, the geese and everything. We just finished a major one, a big one. We spent $1 million on the land, and I think we did $6 million on the project. And we just finished it. We had a big rain about a week ago, and it really held it well. And then after the rain, it kind of went out, so it did what it was supposed to do.
You talked about infrastructure needs, the American Rescue Plan, pump dollars into many communities. Where were the lion's share of those dollars invested and continue to be invested?
Well, it kind of had a guideline where you had to spend it.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of hours on drainage. Drainage was one of the key things that you could spend it on because there only was, I think we got like 16 million. So, and it
Total $16 million.
Yeah. it kind of tells you where you had to spend it. So drainage was one of the key things. And we just received another $20 million that the money has to be spent in a low-income area, to help somewhat in the low-income area. So again, there we're going to try to spend that also on drainage, helping every area to get that water moving around.
What about Lake Charles, the city of Lake Charles? How much did they get, do you know?
They got 40.
Got you.
They got 40.
So it's all, the formulas for how that stuff all happens is just, it's an interesting formula. Like, so Lake Charles got 40, the parish got 16 million. The inverse was true where the city of Columbus got less than Franklin County got. But in other legacy cities, like the city of Cleveland got a huge amount of money. Cuyahoga County, which is the county that for Cleveland got less than the city got. So it's just the legacy cities, the Chicago's and Detroit's and Cleveland, they got a huge amount of money.
Right.
And the newer cities and newer communities like ours got less.
Housing is a big issue for us in Franklin County.
the
We're a
big-
huge county.
The big issue.
200, you say 200,000. We have 1.35 million people, and housing is a major issue. We have a housing gap. Even in the production of housing,
We have two
Then
housing.
we have
two housing. gaps.
we got a gap in the production of housing. Then we got an affordability gap
Yeah.
where people can't afford on
Right.
the wages that they're being paid to be able to live in a sustainable fashion if they could get. So we spent millions of our rescue plan dollars just trying to keep a roof over people's head during the pandemic and beyond, using emergency rental assistance dollars and funding our community shelter board and funding our affordable housing trust, trying to keep up. And we got more and more people coming and companies coming to our area. What does the landscape look like in your parish, and what the future of the current state of housing for your residents?
We are behind in housing. I think they said like 30,000. 30,000 is the number that we're behind in housing. And of course,
Is that
the
new
cost-
builds? Is that new builds or is that affordable housing?
new build.
New builds, yeah.
The cost of even rental is so high these days. We got people that were living in 3-bedroom houses not living in 1-bedroom house because the costs have went up drastically. And that's one of the other things that we're focused on too. We're gonna try to use some of that money that just came in to help out on that a little bit also. The same way you all did it too, to help out with people rental and everything. It's the housing situation is very bad.
Yeah, it's got to be the new builds are so far behind because people are moving to your area because you're on the, you're in a desirable, part of the country where everybody's moving.
We have a lot of refinery. We have a lot of refinery and casinos in our area, especially the refineries. So they come for the refineries and everything.
Yeah.
That's what brings most of the people there, because the refineries is one of the largest paying of, especially Lake Charles.
Oil fields.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah,
making
I got
100,000
family.
or something, so they got to come to work at the refinery.
Gotcha. Well, we've been talking about obviously the cultural differences between Southwest Louisiana and Central Ohio, and talking about the difference in the business climate or the workplace climate between the two. What does the future hold? What do you see? What are the big issues on the horizon for you guys in terms of? Obviously for us, we both have identified that housing is one of. I always say housing's our issue 1, 2, and 3. We have a lot of other things that we're dealing with in Central Ohio and Franklin County, but housing is issue 1, issue 2, and issue 3 for us. Because not only do we have a new build, but we also have issues with affordable housing, and until we get that addressed, the other issues that we're dealing with are secondary in large in a large way. We've been working on poverty. We've been working on all these other issues, but housing is it. But what do you see as the things that you and your colleagues are working on that are going to be the big things that you're working on in 2024, 2025?
Drainage.
Yeah,
Drainage. We had an area that flooded out, of kind of a low-income area that flooded out, and right now the state came in and bought 100 of the homes out. They bought 100. So once that land is done, they're going to tear the houses down. They're tearing them down now. I think there was at 70. That land going to become part of the parish, the government. And we're planning on putting a retention pond out there in that area so it can't just make it green space so it can't be used again. Drainage is one of our heaviest things right now. I guess when that second storm came in, it was for flood. And it really flooded Lake Charles really bad. The first one came in was wind. This one came in and flooded, and the second one came in. So they saw that the key thing was drainage. We have pipes that are 8 inches, should be 24 inches. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to replace all of those things to make the water flow much better, because it's just 8 inches of rain in a given time. It's horrible. So drainage is one of our key things. It's the key thing. We're dealing with the homeless and the homes, and just like you said, we had a place for the homeless, a hotel that we had, but they didn't want to stay there. They'd rather stay outside on the land.
Yeah, there's always going to be a certain segment of folks that's going to be their choice for any number of reasons. But I think everybody's dealing with that issue, dealing with unhoused folks. Our community has that challenge as well. We invest just a significant amount of money in our community shelter board. We've always invested a significant amount of money in our community shelter board. We have great new leadership there, and I think it's a challenge in every large community across the country. When we all travel across the country, we see it everywhere. We've seen it in New Orleans, we've seen it in Nashville, you see it here in the nation's capital when you come here. We've seen it. You see it on the West Coast. I mean, wherever you go, and we're all trying to address it. It's a growing issue and a growing concern in Central Ohio. But again, we're all stacking hands and working on the issue.
And one of the other things too is we're trying to protect the coastal and planting trees and putting big rocks and everything on the outside, try to make a wall so when they come in, they kind of slow down a little bit. So we're spending money to help our neighbor Cameron, help them out a little bit. Because we have a thing, I don't know if you all have it, it's called Help Your Neighbor. Any way you can, especially to help for infrastructure. So we're trying to help them because everybody had pretty much left Cameron. So we're trying to help them get the infrastructure going so that way to slow the storm down when we get another one. Because we're going to get another one.
Sure.
Yeah. On that note, you talk about people leaving. Are there opportunities for you think are sufficient in your parish? From a workforce development, educational opportunities, is that an area of concern, or the youth in your parish have pathways available?
We have quite a bit in Lake Charles. We have a technical school, and we have EMT. You can be an EMT in I think 6 months and not pay anything, and you're making $30,000-$40,000 start off with. And we have a lot of 2-year programs in Lake Charles, especially for the refinery, to help out work in the refinery. Now they'll have some for the casino. The technical school is having dealer school. So they have 2-year courses in Calcasieu that can help our youth. That's one of the best things. I wish they'd had it when I was coming. But because that 2-year course is just very quick and everything. And most of it, you can get people will sponsor you and you don't pay anything.
You don't pay anything. That's good.
Yeah. You just have one casino?
No, we have 3. We have 3, and one of them an hour away and another one 30 minutes away.
Gotcha.
But as far as refineries, we have. You would come across the bridge and think it's a big city, but it's just refinery, all the lights. It's true. You come across the bridge, you think
city is all refinery.
Refinery.
It's all
Refinery.
Well, that's interesting. Well, we're running low on time, so I don't want to keep you. I know you have other things to get off to. So what else? Tell us more about. Give your pitch. What other than great weather and I know we've talked about the storms, and that's that is what it is. You can't do anything about it. But other than great weather and great food and great people, what else you got to bring us to Southwest Louisiana?
Why I want you to come?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the hunting. Louisiana is called the sportsman paradise. That's because you can get all the hunting done from everything, from alligator to whatever. So that's why it's called the sportsman paradise. So we get a lot of people come in just to go do a lot of hunting.
I would think hunting alligators would be a high-risk activity. A very
but
high-risk
you'd be surprised how many people want to do that.
Woo-wee. I just hear the alligator attack stories, golfers getting attacked by alligators.
On the golf course?
Yeah. And I'm going to go to Louisiana looking to take out an alligator.
Surprised. A lot of people come there just for that.
Tony told me the food's so good, and this is true, I've been down that way, but Tony told me the food's so good in Louisiana, they make roadkill delicious.
Oh, yeah. Possum, coon, whatever. They will cook it. They will cook it.
Season it right.
Yeah.
Tenderize it.
Cook it for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you firsthand, alligator is delicious. I've had it many times. It's good.
You have to eat it while it's hot.
Yeah.
Because once it gets cold, it gets chewy.
I know. Other than beignets, what's the best dessert in Louisiana? Everybody talk about the powdered sugar, the beignets. Yeah, beignets. Everybody talk about beignets. What else is good? That's like,
Bananas Foster. Man, it's all good.
That just looks like a powdery, sugary donut.
That's all it is. It's just a powdery donut.
But yeah, you get a hot powdery donut with a cup of coffee. Oh man.
Apparently he didn't try it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean,
probably at the knockoffs, so I haven't been to New Orleans. I got family in New Orleans area. I need to get to New Orleans.
You go to Cafe
You need to go
Dumont
during this time.
You go to Cafe Dumont and sit outside and order some beignets, and they bring that big old bag of sugary, powdery hot donuts with a cup of coffee. Yeah, Reese gonna make. You could be a couple happy people. It's good.
And the crawfish now, of course.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I appreciate everything.
Tony, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you. I appreciate everything.
So wait, one thing we didn't talk about is Mardi Gras started. We got Fat Tuesday on Tuesday.
Right.
Mardi Gras. Well, it's starting. We're in Mardi Gras. Right now.
Mardi Gras started January the 6th, 12 days after Christmas.
Yeah. Feast of the Epiphany. It started on January 6th. So that's why you're wearing the beads, and it's happening.
That time of year. Let the bon temps roll. The good times roll.
So Tony, he spends his time here at LegCon, making sure everybody knows it's Mardi Gras and passing out beads. And
I must love you all to miss Mardi Gras.
Oh yeah.
I must love you all to miss Mardi Gras.
Yeah. So he makes sure that he and the rest of the Louisiana delegation make sure everybody knows it's Mardi Gras. And you guys bring your own feast here for the Louisiana delegation's event tonight.
Well, no, we don't. We wish we could get a chef in. It's not our cooking, so no, it's not our cooking. Last time we did this, it was supposed to be a jambalaya, and they had rice and gravy in one thing and something else in another.
It
wasn't even close. It wasn't even close.
So Louisiana parties tonight.
Yes, the parties tonight, and just want to throw this as a reminder that when we go to Florida, the South region, I will possibly be running for South Region.
Oh, there you go.
So-
Candidate Tony Guillory.
Yeah, I had to throw that one line in.
All right. Good.
I appreciate it, and thank you all for the time and everything.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
The talk of the county. You hear from all people all over. We even taking it to the road. So, in closing, do you? No one else has time to.